The NFL just might be getting cold feet over their not-so-neat singer for the Super Bowl halftime show, Bad Bunny. Had you even heard of this guy before he was announced? Well, it turns out he will not, after all, be wearing a gown or a dress. At least, that's what the latest rumors address. And today we'll tell you why it's a sign that the NFL is trying to keep their advertisers in line, or is there something else? Hello folks, hello friends, welcome back yet again. Another video of excellence on the way as we continue to explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve. This is your friendly neighborhood pro asking you for only a like as we get into a PhD level of understanding when it comes to what's going on in the land of the rising weird. Hollyweird, that is. Bad Bunny, NFL, oh yeah, we're going there. Folks, click the like button and off we go. All right, folks, we got a heck of a story here because the NFL is, well, maybe getting cold feet. Out of Breitbart, it says report Bad Bunny is not wearing a dress for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, darn.
Can I just say that can be interpreted two different ways?
Well, I'm glad you think that because that might be, you might be onto something. TMZ, which we hate. Sorry, TMZ, but you guys suck. We're stuck, though, reporting it because they have it as the exclusive. So here we are. We don't want to be there. TMZ is saying Bad Bunny will dress to impress at Super Bowl, but won't wear a dress. Guess what, Lauren? They're not ruling out other types of attire that technically aren't dresses. Hang tight for this. Bad Bunny won't be attending a dress fitting prior to his Super Bowl halftime show performance in just a few weeks because we're told he's not wearing a gown, despite reports. Not wearing a gown. Now, this piece of attire might be a possibility, but a gown, not going to happen. Production sources tell TMZ he's not wearing a dress during the show, though they wouldn't say what he is wearing. This development may burn out Miss Lawrence, a famous stylist and star on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, who told us she was cool with Bad Bunny wearing a dress so long as he fully committed to and made the rainbow community proud. Now, why do I go there, folks? Because I know that Breitbart is putting actually the pictures of Bad Bunny in a dress up on their website, and TMZ, though, is backing up what Breitbart is saying. So for those of you out there who love TMZ, I don't know why you would, we got that for you. For those of you who love Breitbart, we got it for you. Both sides are in agreement here. Not going to wear a dress like you see in the Super Bowl halftime show. Now, what is going on? What is happening here? Well, Trump has announced a boycott he's doing of the Super Bowl halftime show. He's not going to go to the Super Bowl at all, and he's making this a very contentious thing. Bad Bunny has been going after all kinds of contentious things. And I believe that the NFL is starting to get cold feet, a little bit worried about how this is going to be perceived. You've got multiple organizations putting on alternative Super Bowl halftime parties. I don't think that's going to dramatically lower the halftime ratings, but I think the NFL might be concerned that if this guy gets out there, goes off script, or does things that could put them in the middle of a contentious issue again, then that would be really, really bad for the NFL going forward. Lauren, your thoughts on Bad Bunny and the reports now coming out? Nope, not going to wear a dress. Nope, not going to wear high heels. Nope, not going to have a sundress. Lauren, kind of a strange Super Bowl halftime show if that's the kind of stuff we're talking about some dude on a stage.
I feel a bit like this about how I feel about the Sydney Sweeney bra story on the Hollywood sign this morning. It's the same kind of thing.
There's no possible way you feel the same way about Bad Bunny in a dress and Sydney Sweeney on a Hollywood sign.
This is true that I do not feel the same way about those two things. But what I do feel is that this is a story ginned up to create conversation. It is to generate publicity and get people talking about, ooh, what's Bad Bunny going to do? What's the controversy behind what he will wear? What's it that Trump is doing? It's just to get people talking. And
I'm going to push back, Lauren, and I'm going to win this time. You beat me every time. I'm going to win this one. You ready?
Go ahead.
I don't think that's how this is playing. I think that what happened is, I think the rumor got out there that Bad Bunny, a dude, is going to wear a dress, wear a gown at the Super Bowl halftime party. And I believe that advertisers were getting spooked about this because they're paying millions of dollars and they're saying, whoa. If that guy shows up in a dress and my ad comes out after that, I don't want to lose the viewers that will turn this off. And I'm thinking that it had to get leaked out to TMZ. He's not really going to wear a dress. It's okay. Because they gotta make it so that everybody knows. He's not that weird. We're not going to lose advertisers.
I agree that the advertisers might be a little bit spooked given how woke advertising has gone in the last few days. But I think also if you're getting Bad Bunny, he's a known quantity. You know what you're going to get. And I'm not so certain that he would be so easily controlled. So while I agree he's probably not wearing a dress, I think he's still going to want to wear something, let's say, provocative. So I don't know that you're going to be able to control him even if you want to and even if you think you have a guarantee.
Is he going to say things that are provocative?
Oh, certainly. Why would I mean? You don't become a celebrity to do things in a milquetoast kind of way. You're doing it to promote yourself, generally speaking. And I think there's another parallel, which is another story that we talked about this morning, which was Cynthia and Ariana and Wicked, who explicitly got pulled off of the promotional circuit because they promoted themselves above the movie. That's my contention, is that it became about them, not the product they were trying to promote. I think that the advertisers are afraid this is the same thing that's going to be happening with Bad Bunny, but you courted the guy, you've got him now for the entertainment. He's going to want to do and say what he's going to want to do and say. Do you really think that you can constrain him in a box so tight that he's not going to do something controversial?
By the way, and culture has sent this my way, this is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. I don't know that I've ever seen it before. So this guy has a socio-political character that's attached to him, Concho, and this little frog is being used for merchandise with the Super Bowl. So this guy is getting to merchandise his little socio-political activist character with the NFL and with the teams. That's very strange how this plays out. The NFL, I think, is taking on some extra risk that they didn't have to do. Guys, what say you? Culture, you send this my way. What are you thinking about this?
Well, look, I think he's going to do, as Lauren pointed out astutely, exactly what he has to do to, get his brand out there, just like, the lovely Sydney Sweeney did, right? There's no way she did that illegally or without permission or anything else. It's just nice to get a story ginned up to get attention. We live in an attention economy. That's why all of us.
No, we don't. Surely not culture.
We are. We live in an attention economy. This guy's getting an attention and a peak.
It's just a breast cancer awareness outfit.
Sure. Yeah, that's not what I would wear for breast cancer awareness, but, to each their own. Mm-hmm. I'll just say this. The stories coming out earlier this week, and I reported on one of them, did a video on it, as a matter of fact, were not just that he was going to wear a dress, but he was going to go out of his way to push queer themes. So I'm with Lauren. He's going to do something. It may not be
football audience wants, right? I mean, football.
Yeah, well,
fans,
and that's the larger problem. Is you have millions of dollars being spent on advertisements, which is why I think that your approach, Pro, was spot on. Millions of dollars these advertisers dump into these ads, making them and buying the time to get them out in front of me. Do you think Bud Light wants another moment where they're tied to somebody who's pulling this kind of a stunt after everything? I mean, Budweiser is putting out a baby Clydesdale ad. It's very wholesome. You've got a lot of wholesome ads this year at the Super Bowl, ones that wouldn't have appeared in the recent past. So, and go ahead.
But with the NFL, it's like how they keep putting those male cheerleaders on all the teams. Like, who is that for?
Nobody.
Not for the football fans, sure.
No.
Yeah,
and again, they're trying to sell this as, football's now a sport for not just the men, but the women. And I'm thinking, the women like attractive women too. You guys are not. They don't understand what they're doing, and this has been going on for a while. They've been intentionally trying to confuse things for people. But the last things in the world that the sponsors want is to have their material confused with any of this nonsense. So, Trump got the press he needed to talk, to speak to his base about the fact that he's, not going to the Super Bowl this year. Bad Bunny's getting the press that he wants, despite the fact that they're saying that he's not going to be in a dress, although that's what was widely reported, and talk specifically about what his performance is built upon, which is honoring queer icons. So,
well, I don't know how they're going to do the show, because this guy, my understanding is almost all of his material is in Spanish.
Yeah.
And it's all either very risque and grotesque, or it's extremely political. So I don't know that there's going to be a single song that the average American knows or can sing or recognize. So, and if he does something controversial, it'll be in Spanish, and that'll be its own thing. And the NFL needs to. I think they need to fix this problem they have where they've got who is it? Is it Jay-Z that's picking all of their Super Bowl halftime performers? They need to fix this. That needs to change.
Well, I mean, this guy's been tied to people who are cultural kryptonite, in various many groups. This Abramov lady or whatever her last name is, but this is not where you want to put your eggs. The NFL never should have made this deal with Live Nation, and what they should do is go out, hire the best group they can. Right now, Rolling Stones, despite the fact that they're 7,000 years old, still have broader and wider appeal than somebody like this knucklehead, who I promise you the average American does not even know who this guy is. They've never heard word one of his music, let alone,
Right. You can imagine that if somebody had a legitimate career that they would think, oh, I'm getting the biggest, I'm not a very well-known artist outside of my particular genre, got this opportunity to show my music to the world. And all it's going to do is bring an entire section of the population who doesn't know what a, let's say, spectacle he is. They're going to find out. So I think it's going to have the opposite effect of what somebody going in there for actual genuine reasons. I think it turns the halftime show into something that is 100% partisan and only reminds an entire segment of the population of how much they don't want to participate in that area of culture.
Marvin, Ron, cost. Just for a second, cost on the Super Bowl. Does this hurt advertisers at all?
It could. I mean, I really don't I don't know. I had never heard of Bad Bunny before he was tied to the Super Bowl. Looking at it, from the point of view of just a layperson who wants to enjoy football, wants to enjoy the game, wants to enjoy especially the advertisements, because that's what a lot of people even watch the Super Bowl for. They don't even care about the game. They care about the ads that come out with it, because some of the most creative ads of the year come out with the Super Bowl, and they're very entertaining, even if you don't like the product. But I personally, I have avoided the halftime shows at the Super Bowl for the last, I don't know how many years, because none of them have been particularly entertaining. And it seems to me that no matter who they have put out there, the material that they put out at the Super Bowl comes across as offensive. I didn't like. I think I saw some clips of the J-Lo one a few years ago, and I was like, "What? I don't know." It's just the Super Bowl should be a time when you can actually gather your family around and enjoy an American pastime, and I don't think it's that anymore. It's certainly not good if you have children. To see any of the stuff that they put on for entertainment at the halftime show. And I think that is problematic for advertisers who are paying the most money that they can possibly pay to put out their ads. You want to get them in the eyeballs of as many people as you possibly can. And if people know about this, or even if people don't know and they start watching it and they're turned off by it immediately and they go to something else during the halftime, well, then they're going to miss out on a lot of those ads.
Can I suggest something else? Because I think this is a query, and I think I want to hear from Lauren and Marvin on it. The Super Bowl is really appealing to the two most concentrated fan base that nobody else cares about. The two teams. We're going to talk about the Patriots. We're going to talk about the Sea Chickens, right? Those are the two teams in the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. It's also being done in San Francisco or in Santa Clara, California. Formerly, it would have been San Francisco, but now it's Santa Clara. Do you think that they are risking the lack of more universally accepted fan bases, larger fan bases? Do you think that they're risking losing what viewers they have during the halftime? Do you think that, as Ron suggested, the people will move on and just be turned off completely, not just from the football, but from that? I mean, I don't know. I'm curious what your feeling is on that.
I think viewership's been going down for a while because they had the antics in NFL for the last few years of players kneeling, and they sort of undercut their own appeal for those who weren't there for the football by releasing their Super Bowl advertisements before the Super Bowl, putting them online, and then people didn't watch during the live game. So I think that they're already dealing with some declining viewership just because of poor management. And bring in a controversial character, and that can go one or two different ways. You can either alienate part of the audience, or it can draw people in who want to see what the controversy is going to be. But that's a risky strategy, if you ask me. I believe the advertising costs on the Super Bowl have been going down because of the declining viewership. Now, that's not to say that it's not expensive, but it's not as expensive as it used to be. And so were I them, I'd be going for something that is more mass appeal.
Marv, you get the final word if you're there. If not, we'll leave it there where it is. 3, 2, 1.
Marv.
I think Marv agrees with everything you all had to say. We must bid adieu for now. But folks, I encourage you, if you enjoyed this kind of video, well, we have plenty more and more on the way every single day. We do it for you. Check out the WDW Pro channel and go click on videos. You can see the most recent ones and enjoy all the stuff we're talking about, and hopefully give us some feedback, because we would love to cater what we're doing for you. You are the consumer. You are our valued guest. It's how entertainment companies once upon a time treated the people who bought their stuff, and we're still doing it here. Folks, on the way out the door, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, as we get ready to say goodbye, we always say this because we think you indeed are special and matter. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.